Okay, quickly, children, we have lost a lot of time now. Human eye. All eyes this way. The human eye, and when we discuss about human eye, थोड़ा डायग्राम सेंट्रिक रहेगा और तुम लोग तो डायग्राम में हो ही खराब, ठीक है? तो आइए चलिए देखते हैं, ये बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक है एक्चुअली. लेट्स सी the construction of the human eye and try to understand, because in your new syllabus this is not there, this is in the old syllabus, but I think in new syllabus you will be anyway learning about it in grade 10 once again. So but generic know how में आपके लिए अच्छा है, ठीक है? A human eye can be very nicely compared with a camera. Camera means something like a DSLR camera जो हमारे पास होता है, right? So this is the eyeball. We are trying to draw what? We are trying to draw the white eyeball. So the outer structure of the eyeball, this is the portion. This portion is known as the cornea. Okay. इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? This is known as the cornea. Cornea. We are drawing beyond the eyelid. Eyelid से अंदर, जैसे eyelid खुला, what do you see? The white color thing. That is known as the cornea, which is the first layer of protection to your eye. So whenever you get an injury and all, the first injury hit is taken by the cornea. After the cornea, now we are drawing it from side view. Okay, we are drawing it from side view. This drawing is not as you see the eye from the front view, you are seeing the eye from the side view. After this, and Pratit, ध्यान लो, तुम्हारे लिए ज़्यादा important है. After this, we have something which is known as the iris, IRIS, the iris. Okay, we have something which is known as the iris. This as well as the top one. इतना बात क्यों करते रहते हो? क्लास में ध्यान दो ना. This is known as the iris. Right? So the cornea is little bit convex in nature. Convex उसी को बोलते हैं जिसका पेट मोटा होता है ना. That is called convex, bulging outwards. So this is a convex shape. The first layer of protection. After that you have iris. Now iris is something which you should understand very nicely. Iris is basically a membrane structure. It's a membrane, पतला सा एक layer है, but does wonderful job. The iris can actually open up and create an opening in it. Something like, how do I tell you? Suppose there are 3 flaps. Okay, let me try to make it. There are suppose 3 intersecting flaps are there. Say suppose flaps. These flaps can actually rotate and create a hole in between them. Acha, have you seen aircrafts? कोई movie देखे हो where they show the aircraft engine and the engine just starts, you see a white line like this opening up, right? खुल जाता है. Iris actually has got a remarkable property. The iris can actually create an opening, and that opening is through which the light enters your eyes. And also the iris works as a biometric identification. Everyone's iris is different. Your iris, my iris. We Indians usually have black iris, okay, or brown. If you go to Czechoslovakia and all, you'll find they say, "Na, this girl is with hazel eyes." They have got hazel, bluish, cat eyes जैसे होते हैं. Everything is with iris. So if you have gone for any Aadhaar verification or anywhere, they will always ask you to put your eyes inside and see. So the iris is a capture, iris and fingerprints. These are known as your biometric identification. So let us understand what this iris does. ये करता क्या है? Okay, right? And when I start opening the camera, everything will become easy. This is shown to you from the side view, right? The iris controls the size of the opening. एक circular opening को वो खोलेगा. Opening through which light enters the eye. Legible है वरुणिका, आपको दिखाई दे रहा है clearly? Okay, through which the light enters the eye. Now the opening that is created by you, now this opening that is created, अब इसका भी एक नाम है. This opening will be known as the pupil of the eye. Now try to understand pupil. The size of the pupil is controlled by, वो उसको रबिंग वबिंग बाद में करो, सहज पहले यहाँ ध्यान दो, इसको समझो. ड्राइंग आप इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग से भी कर सकते हो. साइज ऑफ द प्यूपिल इज कंट्रोल्ड बाय द ओपनिंग ऑफ द आइरिस। आपको समझ में आ रहा है? आइरिस जितना खुलेगा प्यूपिल उतना बड़ा होगा, राइट? समटाइम्स यू मस्ट हैव एंटर्ड अ मूवी थिएटर लेट, सिनेमा चालू हो गया है, अंदर ये सब चल रहा है, मैंने गवाहों के बयानात किए, और तब आप अंधेरे में कैसे घुसते हो? ऐसे ऐसे डर डर के घुसते हो। क्यों? बिकॉज यू हैव कम फ्रॉम ब्राइट सनलाइट। डू यू एग्री? In bright sunlight, we don't want that much light to enter our eyes. So this iris senses in such a way that it has made your pupil very small. Got it? With that small pupil, you are in the shopping mall and suddenly you have entered the movie theater. Now the movie theater does not have that much of light. समझ में आ रहा है ना? So immediately the brain is sensing and telling the iris, hey iris, open up more. We want more pupil. The pupil area to increase. इसीलिए सिनेमा हॉल में घुस के साथ साथ डोंट स्टार्ट वॉकिंग लाइक एन इडियट, आप ही गिरोगे। स्टे फॉर सम टाइम, कुछ देर रुकने के बाद व्हाट यू फाइंड, यू स्टार्ट सीइंग एवरीथिंग क्लियरली। हैव यू रियलाइज्ड? एट दैट टाइम द आइरिस हैज ओपन्ड, उसको थोड़ा टाइम लगता है खुलने में, एंड द प्यूपिल हैज बिकम वेरी बिग। नाउ यू कैन ऑल्सो सी हु इज सीटेड बिसाइड यू, वो चिकन तंदूरी सैंडविच खा रहा है कि नहीं, सामने का सीट दिखाई देता है, सब दिखाई देना शुरू हो गया है। And after you, some fellow must have entered late into the theater. ये भी possible है, और आप उसको देख के हंसते हो, देखो 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 कैसे idiot जैसा चल रहा है। Few minutes ago you were also like that. Did you get it? Now the movie has ended or it is interval time. So you have been watching the movie all in darkness में। जैसे ही movie end होता है, they will open a door and you get out to bright light and you'll immediately make your eyes like Chinese, ऐसे हो जाओगे। What is the reason? आपका pupil बहुत छोटा है। It is allowing very, आपका pupil अभी बहुत बड़ा है because you are in dark, and then suddenly when you go to the bright outside, huge amount of rays start entering you which is not acceptable to you, and you immediately signal the brain, baba बंद करो, but the brain is taking some time to reduce। इसलिए थोड़ी देर रुक जाने के बाद then again you get normal। Have you understood? Cornea is the first layer of protection. After cornea, we have a membrane-like structure which is known as iris. At grade 8 level, you should know an iris has two jobs. इस iris के पास दो काम है. One, to control the size of the pupil, and two, to serve as a biometric identity. Every person's fingerprint is different. I hope you know that. Even twins have separate fingerprint, and every person has a different iris नहीं, iris identity, the biometric one. इतना clear हो गया? फाइन। सो इसके बाद क्या हो गया? लाइट इज नाउ एबल टू एंटर। हाँ बोलो बेटू। एज मच एज 1 मिनट 1.5 मिनट। हाँ, सोने के बाद उठने से भी, जैसे आप लोग, जैसे यू गाइस, यू पीपल डोंट वेक अप अर्ली मॉर्निंग, 10 बजे जब उठते हो, कोई कर्टन खोल देता है, तब आप ऐसे हो जाते हो ना। दैट्स बिकॉज योर आइरिस वाज वेरी बिग and suddenly the broad daylight has started to attack your eyes and you feel that आज छोटा कर लेने से अच्छा है। Hey Avian, your camera is switched off. Okay. Now after this we have our most interesting piece of what you call, I don't call it an organ, but a part of the organ, which is the eye lens. Now the eye lens, now after this I have something which is known as my eye lens. अच्छा, ऐसे शेप के लेंसेस को हम कॉन्वेक्स बोलते हैं, जिनके बल्जिंग आउटवर्ड्स रहता है, पेट मोटा। सुनो सुनो सुनो, इस आई लेंस की भी बड़ी अच्छी खूबी है, राइट? नाउ लेट्स सी व्हाट इज द स्पेशलिटी ऑफ दिस आई लेंस। नाउ हैव यू सीन मैग्नीफाइंग ग्लासेस? या, बट दोस मैग्नीफाइंग ग्लासेस आर रिजिड ग्लासेस। आवर आई लेंस गॉड हैज गिवन वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। दिस इज gelatinous and flexible. What do you mean by gelatinous and flexible? जैसे आप जेली निकालते हो ना, एकदम जेली जैसा है ये आई। Got it? एलोवेरा, have you broken an aloe vera leaf? उसके अंदर जैसा जेली टाइप रहता है ना, ये बड़ा कंप्रेसिबल टाइप है। ये चाहे तो अपना कर्वेचर चेंज कर सकता है। What is curvature? The lens can become more motu like this, or the lens can also become slender like this. This is possible only when the lens is flexible. Have you understood? Flexible तो आपने इसको बना दिया, लेकिन इसको ये मोटा और पतला करेगा कौन? करने के लिए कोई खींचने वाला चीज भी तो चाहिए। हाँ, अब देखते हैं। मसल्स नहीं, मसल से पहले एक और चीज आएगा जिसे हम कहते हैं सस्पेंसरी लिगामेंट्स। हाँ, डॉक्टर बनना है तो थोड़ा तो सीखना है ना भाई। ऐसे हमारे पास ऐसे हमारे पास होते हैं सस्पेंसरी लिगामेंट्स. दिस इज नोन एज, these are known as, sorry, these are known as, और तुम लोग ड्राइंग में हुए एकदम ऑल फटीचर्स, तो सस्पेंसरी लिगामेंट्स, राइट. अब ये सस्पेंसरी लिगामेंट्स जो है ना, ये कंट्रोल करता है एक और ऑर्गन जिन्हें हम कहते हैं सिलियरी मसल्स. ये सिलियरी मसल्स, यहाँ पे ऐसे सिलियरी मसल्स रहते हैं ऐसे. So this is known as my ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles. ठीक है. अब देखो मैकेनिज्म कैसा है. Ciliary muscles can actually contract or relax. जरा सोचो तो, अगर ये contract करते हैं, if they contract, the lens is pulled upwards and the lens becomes slender. And if these actually expand, ऐसे सामने की तरफ आते हैं, तो lens bulges out. Have you understood? So my eye lens is something like this, which can become like this, more like this, based on what is my need. We will talk about that also. इतना समझ में आया? ये पोर्शन और ये पोर्शन में वाटर रहता है, सलाइन वाटर, जो आप होने से निकलता है ना, तो ये वाले पोर्शन में जो रहता है उसको कहते हैं एक्वस ह्यूमर, not tears. This portion of the water, this studied in grade 10, this is called aqueous humor. This portion is called vitreous humor. Humor बोलते हैं, मेडिकल में नाम ही ऐसे है, ठीक है ना. जैसे बीट आप खाते हो ना, बीट का साइंटिफिक नेम है बीटा वल्गारिस. टाइगर का साइंटिफिक नेम है राना टाइग्रिस. क्या करोगे आप, ऐसा ही है, ठीक है. राना टाइग्रिस. ओके, आइए इसके बाद we continue with this portion. So we will have what is known as our, so from here we will have the ocular nerves. अभी और पढ़ेंगे इसको, तब क्लियर होगा. ocular nerves, and these are going to your brain, right? These are going to your brain. This portion which is there, this entire portion, this acts like like your screen where image is formed, and this is known as your retina. ये रेटिना पे ही सब इमेज होता है. अभी जैसे मैं आपको देख रहा हूं ना, आपका इमेज मेरे रेटिना में फॉर्म हो रहा है. अंडरस्टूड? पहले इसको बना लेते हैं, फिर और सारे बात करेंगे. Everyone has something in their eye which is known as blind spot. Blind spot. Blind spot का मतलब है कि यहाँ पे कोई इमेज फॉर्म नहीं होता है. No image is formed at this portion. This is known as blind spot. ठीक है. अच्छा, अब रेटिना में देखते हैं. द रेटिना में इमेज होता है. यहाँ थोड़ा ध्यान दो, ड्राइंग यार घर पे करना आराम से, तो मजा लो ना. साइंस क्या खाली ड्राइंग करते रहते हो. यू कैन नॉट ड्रॉ दिस सो नाइसली. यू विल बी ड्राइंग ए कौवे का, आई नो दैट. यू ड्रॉ एट होम. अभी तुम इसे ध्यान दो. रेटिना में दो तरह के सेल्स होते हैं. एक सेल को कहते हैं हम कोन्स, और एक को हम कहते हैं रॉड्स. नाउ दिस इज इंटरेस्टिंग. Rods and cones. Cones start with the letter C. So cone is responsible for identification of color. Color. The way you are distinguishing between different colors is the ability of your cones. You know color blindness? There are many children who are born color blind. They cannot distinguish between basic colors. Basic colors are like RGB, red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow. वो उसमें distinguish नहीं कर पाते हैं. The reason is that they are lacking in terms of cones. And the other one is rods. A rod is all about visibility. Visibility in low light. अच्छा, if you enter a dark room, you are able to see, right? ऐसा तो नहीं कि आप देख नहीं पाते हो, फिर भी देख पाते हो ना. किचन ना, नाइट ब्लाइंडनेस, वेरी गुड. किचन में जैसे आपने लड्डू चोरी करना है, तो आप लाइट नहीं जला के घुसते हो. नो, you all are तो very effluent kids. In our days when we used to go for लड्डू चोरी in the kitchen, लाइट तो नहीं जलाएंगे ना, पर हमें अंधेरे में दिखाई देता है. The reason is because rods help you to see in less light. Children who suffer from night blindness in India now is an eradicated disease. But back in 70s and 80s, like when we were kids and we used to watch TV, these ads used to come. Mohan रात को नहीं देख पाता है. One of the reason of this deficiency is lack of vitamin A in your diet. कैरेट्स। विटामिन ए का नाम होता है पपाया, राइबोफ्लाविन, ठीक है ना। जिसकी विटामिन ए डेफिशिएंट है वो पैदाइशी रात को कम देखेगा। he or she will not be able to see things properly। समझ में आया? नाइट विजन में आपको प्रॉब्लम होगा। अब बात करते हैं दो तरह के जानवरों की। एक जो आपके जैसा दिखता है बिल्कुल, आउल। आउल रात को देख पाता है ना। आउल रात को क्यों देख पाता है पता है? Owls are blessed with lots of rods. Owls are blessed with lots of rods. Understood? हाँ, वो देख पाता है रात को। अच्छा, इसके साथ आपने एक और बर्ड देखा होगा, ये वाला ईगल। ईगल बहुत दूर से देख लेता है, देखो वो जा रहा है रूहान माथुर, इसको खाऊंगा आज मैं। एकदम ऊपर से नोटिस करता है। हाउ इज ही एबल टू डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन रूहान माथुर एंड द सराउंडिंग्स? द एबिलिटी टू विजुअलाइज डिफरेंट कलर्स। सो ईगल्स आर ब्लेस्ड विथ cones and all nocturnal animals are blessed with rods at grade 8 level। ये क्वेश्चन पूछता है प्रतीत पुजारी, आपको पूछेगा what is the significance of rods and cones? Rods and cones are cells in the retina which help us in identifying colors, that is bracket cones, and improves our ability to view things in subdued light or dim light। तो अगर आपको केस बेस्ड क्वेश्चन देगा, अ चाइल्ड इज सफरिंग फ्रॉम लाइट ब्लाइंडनेस, व्हाट इज ही डेफिशिएंट इन? ही इज डेफिशिएंट इन रॉड्स। और अगर आपको बर्ड्स लिख के दे दिया, ईगल इज अ बर्ड हु इज मोर इन एफ्लुएंट विथ व्हाट? कोन्स। ईगल कलर को आइडेंटिफाई कर पाता है, उससे उसको पता चलता है दैट इज लैंड और दैट इज बकरी का बच्चा। करेक्ट ना? यू नो ईगल्स कैन लिफ्ट अप अ किड और अ लैम्ब, उठा के ले जाता है। हाँ, लिफ्ट अ गोट। यू तो डोंट रोम आल्सो, योर बॉडी वेट इज सो लेस। If a eagle sights you, उठा के ले गया। कौन? अतुल। ईगल लेके जा रहा, आज किसी को खाऊंगा। समझ में आया? Clear on this part? Okay. This is known as your retina, and your retina is responsible for image formation. Now let us understand what actually happens in an eye. तो आई में ऐसा होता है कि दूर से जो रेज आती है ना, दूर के रेज को हम पैरेलल रेज कहते हैं। जैसे ये एक रे आया आपका, सॉरी लेट मी डू इट विद अ डिफरेंट कलर। ओके, ये लैवेंडर से कहते हैं, ये एक रे आया मेरी आंखों में, ये एक और रे आया मेरी आंखों में, और ये रेज जाके कहां पे मीट करती है? राइट एट द रेटिना, एंड दैट इज व्हेन आई एम एबल टू सी। In higher classes you will study that the image formed by your eye lens is actually inverted. So when I am actually seeing Nivedita, actually I see in ulta Nivedita. That is again corrected by the brains back out there. If your by birth eye lens is such that this intersection is happening either before the retina or after the retina, then you have a problem. And all you spectacle fellows, you do have that problem, which is our next thing of discussion. Okay, आपका ये इंटरसेक्शन यहाँ पे हो नहीं रहा है, आइदर ये सामने हो रहा है या बाद में हो रहा है। ठीक है, अब इसको थोड़ा कैमरे के साथ कंपेयर करें। नाउ थिंक अबाउट अ कैमरा, राइट? टेक आउट अ कैमरा फ्रॉम अ पैकेट, अ DSLR कैमरा। द फर्स्ट थिंग यू विल डू इज व्हाट? You will open the lens cover. What do you do in your eye? You open your eyelids. Clear? Eyelids and lens cover are same. Understood? Then we have something called a protective transparent layer called the cornea. In your camera, right in front of your lens, you'll have something which is known as the filter. So the filter works like the cornea. After this, we have got iris in our eye. What does the iris do? The iris controls the amount of light that will enter our eye. Boring तो नहीं लग रहा है ना? In a camera, we have something called aperture and shutter speed. So whenever you control your shutter speed, suppose you are taking a photograph of some big fight or some cricket match that is going on, or a football match which is very fast, you have to increase the shutter speed. You need more light to enter, otherwise the photo will come blurred. तो जैसे यहाँ पे iris ये काम करता है, वैसे ही वहां पे कौन ये काम करेगा? The shutter speed. अच्छा, when you focus something on autofocus, have you seen there's a rectangles inside your lens, and when you start focusing in, आपका telephoto lens साथ साथ घूमना शुरू हो जाता है. That is automatic. That same thing is done by the iris. It just takes a little bit of time. And the lens focus. Have you witnessed something? You are able to see something far off as well as you're able to see something very near also. See, God has given you such powerful thing, the universe. In a camera, if you try to, in a binocular, if you try to see something far off, in a telescope and something near, immediately you have to change the focus. That's because you have to change your lens alignment. That thing in your body is being done by these ciliary muscles. We have, as human beings, have got a strange power. We can see something very far off. जैसे हम अभी बात कर रहे हैं ना, ऐसे बैठ बैठ के यार ये इंस्टाग्राम का रील देख रहे हो, अरे अरे वो देखो बंदर भाग गया, साथ साथ हम उस बंदर को भी देख पाते हैं. Camera cannot do that so quickly. Have you seen movie scenes or cricket matches where sometimes they will focus on the bowler, then the entire crowd becomes hazy, blurred, and if they focus on the crowd, the bowler will become hazy. That's because that much time the lens is taking, but you can do that very quickly. This in eye language is what we call as power of accommodation. ये भी तुम्हारे कोर्स में है, power of accommodation. So what is the power of accommodation? Accommodate. Please accommodate this additional thing. What is the additional thing? I want to see something far off and I want to see something nearby simultaneously and very quickly. Ability of the human eye to view something distant and something nearby at the same time is called its power of accommodation. And what controls your power of accommodation? The swiftness with which this lens will change its curvature. जैसे हम पास की चीजें देखते हैं ना, so at that time हमारी आंखें, हम दूर जब देखते हैं ना, we become relaxed. दूर is a relaxed vision. आराम से देखते हैं. Lens becomes, गिर जाता है. पास की चीज देखते ही आंख बड़े बड़े कर लेते हैं. अच्छा ऐसा, तो हमारी आंखें साथ साथ स्लेंडर हो जाता है. वो स्लेंडर नहीं हो पाता है जिन लोगों में, they are not able to see things in nearby things. वो हम आएंगे धीरे धीरे. So one more round of revision. Human eye consists of what all parts? The cornea. What is the cornea? The outer layer of protection. After the cornea, we have iris. Nobody will ask you to draw this diagram, but you should know, what does the iris do? The iris serves as a biometric identity, plus it is a diaphragm which will control the opening through which light will enter your eyes. Right? It's a membrane-based structure. And that opening is known as pupil. Whenever you are taking a new specs, they will put something like a binocular on your eyes and look by the other side. They are basically measuring something called PD, pupil distance. From your point of your nose, if you are symmetric by birth, then both the pupils should be at the same distance, but it is not. There is 0.5 to 1 centimeter difference भी होता है. किसी का एक साइड का pupil 15 में है, एक साइड का 13 में है. वो थोड़ा ऐसा है, ठीक है, और ऐसा होता है. Then we come to the lens. What is the eye lens? Eye lens के बारे में आपको क्या क्या जानना चाहिए? This is gelatinous flexible. This is convex. This is also convex. And this always forms real inverted images. Real inverted images. And where are the images formed? The images are formed on the retina. So can you tell me, retina is like which part of the camera? Film. Film. Where is the image formed in a camera? Film. If you are loading a film, then the image is formed on the film. So the retina works like a film. Have you understood? An eye and a camera are just comparable to each other. Then we come to the retina. So the retina will have what all, beta? The retina will have two cells. Retina is like a screen where the image is formed, number one. These images are in the form of electromagnetic signals which are carried by the ocular nerves to your brain. Then only we say, अभी मैं सहज को देखा, एक और सरदार बच्चे को देखने से उसको भी सहज थोड़ी बोलूंगा. We have the ability to distinguish between two, right? That means your image and another image are a little bit different. We are able to distinguish. ना दो मछली एक ही तरह होता है. How are you able to distinguish between this one and the other one? Because every image formed is different. All these images formed in the form of an electrical signal which is carried to your brain. And your brain is the supercomputer with I don't know how many Intel core that it processes everything so fast and gives you back. ये सहज है. मैंने आपको कहीं देखा था. और कैसे होता है? कंपेयर कर रहे हो ना? वही आप डिटेक्टिव मूवीज देखते हो तो FBI we're gonna found one match, fugitive found. वो मैच करता है कंप्यूटर. आपका दिमाग उससे पहले जैसे सहज हमारा MUN जाके आता है, वही उसको मैंने वहां भी देखा कल मॉल में. वाह, है ना? वो भी इंसान की आंख और ब्रेन का वही तो कमाल है ना. एग्जांपल्स मेक यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग. आई एम नॉट, समझ में आया? Yes, any question related to eye before we go to defects of vision? Ocular nerves are connected to your brain.
So if it's damaged or
even if a single thing or damage happens to your ocular nerves, you will have sensory imaging issues. There are many types of imaging issues. eyes are your most important part of your body. Suppose imagine somebody like me, I'm earning my bread with what? Teaching you. अगर मेरे आंख को आज कुछ हो गया मैं क्या कर पाऊंगा? कुछ कर पाऊंगा? No. So whenever you should be very protective. Never splash water on your eyes. धीरे से धोने का. ज्यादा हवा लगना, चोट लग जाना, आंखों को किसी भी लेके ऐसे उंगलियों से. The best is don't touch your eyes. And if you have conjunctivitis or something, it spreads so quickly. Eyes are like your vision. आंख नहीं तो कुछ नहीं. And do you know the eye is the only organ which is fixed in size right from your birth to your death? Eye never grows. The size of the eye that you have right now is the size with which you were born. Huh? Yeah. The eyes never grow. Eyes always remain constant. There's something. How big is your heart? As the size of your fist. As the size of your fist. That's your heart size. ठीक है?
नहीं, हार्ट भी ग्रो नहीं होता.
हार्ट ग्रो होता है, बाकी सब ग्रो होता है एक्सेप्ट ये. किसी किसी का ब्रेन भी ग्रो नहीं होता है, वो अलग बात है. ठीक है ना? ये इतना समझ में आया? एनी फर्दर क्वेश्चंस? कैमरा का, कैमरा के में कोई ब्लाइंड स्पॉट नहीं रहता है. कैमरा में तो फिल्म रहेगा, जहां फिल्म एक्सपोज हो चुका है दैट्स अ ब्लाइंड स्पॉट, वहां पे गिरने से. ठीक है, आगे चले. एनी क्वेश्चन? Anyone wants to ask? For curiosity also, your textbook name is Curiosity. Don't be limited to only your CBSE book. Sir, ये तो हमारे सिलेबस में नहीं है, हमें क्यों पढ़ना है? Then you are a big time GHA DHA. हाँ, अगर आप साइंस से प्यार करते हो तो सब. I'm also an engineer. मैं तो ड्राइंग कर रहा हूँ ना, बायोलॉजी. कैसे बोलूं? प्यार होना चाहिए. ठीक है, बढ़े आगे. सैद साहब आगे बढ़े. हाँ, लिख लो. यहाँ पे जो जो इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें हैं मैंने बता दिया. ओके, एक तब तक तुम लिखते हो, मैं इसको थोड़ा नंबरिंग कर देता हूँ. सबसे पहले है कॉर्निया, उसके बाद है आयरिस, उसके बाद है प्यूपल, फिर प्यूपल के बाद आता है लेंस, लेंस के बाद सस्पेंसरी लिगामेंट्स, है ना? लेंस, लेंस के बाद आता है सस्पेंसरी लिगामेंट, उसके बाद आता है सिलियरी मसल्स, उसके बाद आता है कौन? रेटिना 7, फिर रेटिना के दो बच्चे 7A और 7B, उसके बाद आता है 8 ब्लाइंड स्पॉट और फिर 9 ऑक्यूलर नर्व्स. ऐसे ही ताकि आपको याद रहे कि इन चीजों में डू यू थिंक एनीथिंग इज बॉदरिंग यू? आई कैन एक्सप्लेन वंस अगेन, इफ नॉट आई विल गो फर्दर. शैल आई गो अहेड? राइट, वेरी गुड. यस सर. और टिश्यूज बेटा, बॉडी में एक ही चीज होता है, टिश्यूज एंड मसल्स. अच्छा, ये जो सिलियरी मसल्स है ना, दे आर वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग. इनको आप पनीर समझ के रखो. अभी पनीर वो काम में आएगा अभी आगे जब हम पढ़ेंगे. सस्पेंसरी लिगामेंट्स एक फ्लेक्सिबल सब ऑर्गन है. इसका काम क्या है? रिलैक्स हो जाना या फिर स्ट्रेच हो जाना. ऐसे स्ट्रेच हो जाना, एक्सपैंड होना और रिलैक्स होना. एक्सपैंड एंड रिलैक्स कौन हो सकता है? somebody who is flexible. Have you understood? If you buy paneer from different sources, don't you say ये soft था, ये पनीर थोड़ा हार्ड था? तो ये सस्पेंसरी लिगामेंट्स जो है ना, एज यू एज ये सस्पेंसरी लिगामेंट्स स्टिफ होना शुरू हो जाता है, especially after 38 and all, and this will happen to everyone. Right now I never wore specs in my whole life. मैं भी अभी स्पेक्स पहनता हूँ क्योंकि मेरे ये दोनों चीज क्या हो गए हैं? हार्ड हो गए हैं. So I am not able to see things nearer as quickly as I should be able to see. आओ देखते हैं डिफेक्ट्स ऑफ विजन. ठीक है, नया चीज, डिफेक्ट्स ऑफ विजन. There are two primary defects. Number one is known as myopia. Myopia is, ये सब मेडिकल टर्म्स है. It is known as near sightedness. इंग्लिश को समझिए. Near sightedness means you are able to sight near. This is all you children's problem. The first time you got a specs, the report that came from your school teacher or something during a PTM was that Sahaj very often comes to the blackboard and then he copies and again he goes back to his seat. यही प्रॉब्लम है बच्चों में. Near को देख पाता है. You can see she does not need the specs to write this copy because she is also a myopic child. And all children who are suffering from this defect, this is actually a disease. This is known as myopia, are called myopic child. Myopic child कैसा होगा? ये childhood में in children, this is 99% children will have this disease only. We'll talk about the 1% also. They are known as myopic. They can see near things. पास को देख पाएगा, लेकिन दूर को नहीं देख पाएगा. If you make the child sit with you in a car and you tell कि ये दूर नहीं, this is very pass. If you say that वो वाला just read that ORR में आता है ना, कोंडापुर लेफ्ट, गच्चीबौली राइट, वो जरा पढ़ो, तो उस गाड़ी का नंबर प्लेट पढ़ो on a moving car, they won't be able to read. This fellow, he's all myopic. Myopic people are one who are able to sight the near, can see near by objects.
And this is the plus or minus.
I'll come to that, but cannot. That interesting thing you will get to know more in grade 10. Now you will not understand the mathematics, but I'll try to explain you. Can see nearby objects but cannot view far off objects. दूर को नहीं देख सकता है ये बच्चा, ठीक है. ऐसे बच्चों में प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है? These children are either born with the bulging eye. Eye ज्यादा bulged होता है उनका, more than natural. So their eyes are something like this, and their eye lenses are extra bulged, zyada bulged hai. For the reason what is happening to those children are that when light rays are hitting their eye rays far off, always remember far off rays are parallel rays. दूर से blackboard से जो rays आ रहे हैं ना इस बच्चे को, इनकी आंखें क्या है? The convex nature is more convex, so we call that their lens is more converging, more converging. So what this lens does, this lens is actually converging the rays much before the retina. तो vision clear नहीं हो रहा है. जैसे somebody may be like 0.25, that 0.25 child का यहाँ होगा, extreme myopic होने से यहाँ पे आ जाएगा. Understood? Now we have to correct this disease. So to correct this disease, these children are given what is known as a concave lens. This is a concave lens. Concave, and this is convex. कॉन्केव को हम बोलते हैं डाइवर्जेंट लेंस, डाइवर्जेंट लेंस, और ये है कन्वर्जेंट. अब अंदर वाले को तो चेंज नहीं कर सकते, वो तो ऊपर वाले ने दिया है, बाहर वाले को चेंज कर सकते हैं. डाइवर्जेंट, डाइवर्जेंट लेंस क्या करता है? रेस को थोड़ा सा फैला देता है. जस्ट बिकॉज दिस चाइल्ड इज, नाउ लेट्स सी व्हाट इज द मैजिक दैट इज हैपनिंग. दिस पर्टिकुलर लेंस विल डाइवर्ज द रेज, है ना. इस आई में प्रॉब्लम क्या है? ये आई कोई भी आता है तो कन्वर्ज करा देता है. तो इसको इनपुट कैसा दिया हमने? डाइवर्जेंट दे दिया है इनपुट. अब ये रे कहां पे आएगा? अब ये, दैट्स व्हाट द ऑप्टोमेट्रिस्ट स्टार्ट्स डूइंग. टकक 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 डालते रहते हैं ना, 1 2 1 2 1 2. सो ही इज ट्राइंग टू चेक विद आइटरेशन कहां पे जाके आता है. दैट इज डायलेशन. पीपल बड़ा हो जाता है, pupil बड़ा हो जाएगा तो डॉक्टर कैन सी मच मोर क्लियरली, एंड योर रेटिना विल गेट ब्लड. दैट्स व्हाई यू आर अनेबल टू सी. आइरिस को इफेक्ट नहीं करता है. दे नीड मोर टॉल क्लाउडिंग टू बी रिमूव फ्रॉम योर आईज. जैसे एट योर एज यू मस्ट हैव नॉट डन. इफ यू गो फॉर chest x-ray, then the pre-night they will give you some medicine that your bowel movement is so clear that no gas or anything should be there, so that your chest x-ray comes absolutely clear. We don't want you to have 2 x-rays. If you dilate the eyelids, then the eye's vision becomes clear for the optometrist. Your vision will become blurred क्योंकि retina के ऊपर layers आ जाते हैं. But after some time, but you can see far off things. बस सिर्फ घर ही नहीं देख पाओगे, वही प्रॉब्लम है. ठीक है? Have you understood? This is called myopic. And this lens always will have negative power. So you ask your friends, none of your friends will say my eye power is plus something, but 99 pakrana, 1% kids are there, which is rare of the rarest. School में शायद 1 या 2 ही मिलेगा who actually has plus power. That is very rare. And that child you can identify within a lot. His glasses will be very, very big, thick. His eyes will appear very big. Generally बहुत ज़्यादा studious brainy बच्चे में 1-2 बच्चा होता है as a birth defect. At this age you cannot have anything other than myopia. However you have plus power. Yeah. However in myopia, so that means you are not myopic. You are hypermetropic. So we'll discuss that. Myopia में एक और interesting चीज़ है. The size of the, like you are seeing me a little bit smaller than I am actually. You can take out your lens and try to read your own book. आप अपना ही चश्मा खरीद के अपने बुक को देखिए, आपके इमेजेस छोटे, नॉट यू, इफ यू आर प्लस यू विल सी बिगर। आप अपने बुक को देखिए, ऐसे ऐसे ऐसे, सी द राइटिंग, सी आई एम प्लस पार, so my things will show you bigger. If you have a myopic eye, the myopic eye will always show you smaller. That is one way in which you can distinguish between a convex lens and a concave lens. If your chashma is a plus par chashma, everything will come bigger. ये देखो बड़े बड़े आ रहे हैं मेरे, अभी सहज का चश्मा ले आऊंगा ना, वो छोटा आएगा। है किसी के पास दो, जब इसका चश्मा से देखो ये छोटा आएगा। See? Now, if you see the size of G with my specs and see the size of N, इससे छोटा, he is less power. I think इसका से और ज्यादा पता है। Give your specs to me, अतुल। he has more power. अभी देखो अतुल के specs से और मजेदार आएगा। See how small it is. Do you see that it is smaller? You can make it. It's smaller now. And see with my specs, that's how bigger. That's all learning science. आराम से दो उसको। Got it? So what is myopia? Myopia is a disease in which a person is able to see near-sighted. You can see near but not far off things. What is the correction for myopia? Correction is always a concave lens, and it will always give you a minus power. So children who are suffering from mild myopia, something like -5, -0.25, please wear specs. There is a chance that your myopia can be arrested. And if you're arrested means, and otherwise myopia is something you'll carry with you as Pushtani Jaidat, and it will go on increasing. Right? Shall we go to the next eye disease? Okay. Any questions here on myopia? Okay. Aye. Our next eye disease is known as hypermetropia. Hypermetropia. Hypermetropia is rare in kids but still happens. Hypermetropia is known as far-sightedness. देखो, far-sightedness means बच्चा दूर को देख सकता है, can see far. Now this child will have a typical problem. This child will be able to see the blackboard but not read books, which is rare, very rare. Now Shania says she has got plus par. That means we can test her specs also whether she's plus par or not. Yes, she is plus par. That means you should not, without specs, you should not write at all. You are not able to see near. ये देख पाएंगे. Can see far, but not far up. Sorry, can see far, but not nearby objects. ऐसे लोगों का problem क्या है? Let's see their eyes. Their eyes are something like this. Their eye lens is much more slender than it should be. Okay? Their eye lens is something like this. So if you take distant rays which are, or rays which are coming, these rays are not that much converged. So the convergence is happening beyond your retina. उसका पहले होता है इसका, because ये वाला लेंस जो है ना, ये मोटू नहीं है. The more the lens is motu, the more will be the convergence. This lens is slender. So what should we do? We should put another convex lens which is a little bit more motu than this. Okay, so the correction would be that I would put another convex lens out here. So this is a convex lens, and this will be having a plus power. The job of this convex lens would be what? It would be to converge the rays. So this convex lens would converge the feed and give it. Now it says ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, अब तो मैं यहीं पे मिला दूंगा. बस अब देखेंगे ना, अब देखते हैं. हाइपरमेट्रोपिया समझ में आया? हाइपरमेट्रोपिया इज अ डिजीज. This lens is not able to converge that much. You speak less truth, so I should bring another person who gives you more truth. ऐसे ही कम बोलता है, थोड़ा और सप्लाई करो. Have you understood? This lens should converge at the retina. It is not converging. So what do? I give it a feed which is already converged, so that it just converges at the retina. If I give you parallel, you are unable to converge. You do converge, but not at the desired point. So I'm not giving you parallel. I'm giving you already converged rays. Now you'll go and converge it. That's the thing. Is it clear now? Stammering, you know? stammering. So we had a classmate, his name was Sanjit. So he used to stammer. Our attendance used to happen like that. Sanjit, yes ma'am. So when ma'am will say Sanjit, at that time if he tries to say yes ma'am, वो तो मुंह से नहीं लेगी, ये रहेगा. So his roll number is 24. From 20 he starts getting ready. 24. और उस वक्त हम क्या करते थे, उसका मुंह दबा देते थे. Right at 24. Then he used to feel so angry. Have you understood? So stammering मतलब at that time पे उन्हें रोल नंबर चेंज करने से भी तो ये रेडी तो हो जाना है ना थोड़ा पहले से. हाँ बोलो. Now I'll come to my disease. So myopia and hypermetropia are diseases which can occur at your childhood level also. In your childhood, myopia is very, very prevalent. Hypermetropia is very, very rare. But her hypermetropia is very less. We've had kids in Pebble City. There used to be a kid, if you look at his eyes used to look so big, means very bright, ज्ञानी बच्चा जैसा लगेगा आपको. Okay, have you understood this? Is any question out there? What is the correction for this? The correction is convex lens. The problem is because the image is formed beyond the retina. In myopia, the image is formed before the retina. Clear? तो आगे बढ़े. एक और डिजीज हमारे पास होता है, ये सबको होगा. You, me, Bollywood heroine, actress, whoever you call. And that disease is known as presbyopia. Presbyopia. Nothing new. Presbyopia is known as hypermetropia at age. Hypermetropia at age. Have you understood? And this age usually starts from anything from the range of 37 to 40. 37 to 40 में ये आपको आना शुरू हो जाएगा. So if you are a myopic child, you will be carrying one domestic product with you from childhood, and this God will gift you at the 37th year of your life. This everyone will have. Everyone. Now let's see why this happens. This is plain as hypermetropia. Now it says the nearest distance of distinct vision. Distinct vision मतलब सबसे पास आप कितना देख सकते हैं. For a human being, that is called as 25 centimeters. Means the nearest distance at which you are able to see something clearly with your eyes is 25 centimeters, which is called an arm length. That's why when you go to an optometrist, at last he will give you a book to read. एक किताब देगा आपको पढ़ने के लिए, arm length. Now what happens as we start getting into, for me this attack happened at 35 itself. Okay, so what happens as I start seeing at 25 distance, this in higher grade it is called as LDDV, least distance of distinct vision. Least distance of distinct vision. मैं पास का चीज नहीं देख पाता हूं. I am not able to read even the brand of this book. What is my problem? Let's go back. What is my problem? My problem is these have become hard paneer for me. They should now pull my lens. No, they should actually make my lens more convex. अब मेरे ये जो muscles है ना, ये stiff हो चुके हैं. ये आपके भी होंगे. Understood? As a result, my lens is much more stretched. If you ask me to drive a car without my specs, I can drive very nicely. I can read everything. Sir, can you read the speedometer? पास का नहीं देख सकता हूं. I can't see. Even if I open my specs and try to read my mobile, I can't read. So what is the other option? The other option is to take it. I can't see at 25 na, so I should be able to see a little bit far off. So थोड़ा far off करता हूं तो हाँ special. अब कितना far off करूं? Selfie stick लगा लूं क्या ऐसे पढ़ने के लिए? So what happens? You get gifted with the same plus power, and you will get a starting with a plus 0.25. And this, in the language, all those ladies and gents, those ladies जो अपनी looks के लिए चश्मा नहीं पहनना चाहते हैं, उस टाइम पे जब ये होगा, यार मेरे को ना reading lens लग गया है. What is reading lens? Now if you go, you'll see many gents and ladies or some teachers talk to you like this. Yes, why are you shouting in the class? She will sign like this. So that means for reading I need the lens, but for viewing I don't need it. Have you understood? फॉर व्यूइंग आई डोंट नीड, बट फॉर रीडिंग आई नीड इट. दिस इज कॉल्ड रीडिंग लेंस. जैसे आप बोलोगे सर ये चेक साइन कर देंगे, हाँ हाँ लाओ बेटा चश्मा पहनेगा, बिकॉज ही कांट सी. बट नाउ कम टू योर केस. लेट्स टेक अप सहज. नाउ लेट्स टेक अप सहज नाउ. ठीक है, अभी तो हमारा सहज छोटा सा मुन्ना सा प्यारा सा बच्चा है और क्या है, मायोपिक है. अब 25 years later, YouTube की तरह सहज हो गया है 37 साल, 37th year of his life. ये मायोपिक तो कंटिन्यू करेगा और गॉड ने तुम्हें क्या दे दिया अभी, प्रेस बायोपिया. दैट मीन्स एक माइनस पावर है, इसके साथ एक प्लस पावर भी चाहिए. अब ये पढ़ता लिखता तो है नहीं अच्छे से, तो पैसे तो होंगे नहीं इसके पास, तो ये जाएगा चीप सोल्यूशन में. बाइफोकल लेंसेज आएंगे उसको ऐसे. हैव यू सीन Dadaji's and all where? Have you seen this or not? Yes. This is called a bifocal lens. In this lens, the top part is minus, the bottom part is plus. नहीं, ये प्रोग्रेसिव नहीं है, ये सस्ता है. प्रोग्रेसिव है जो मैं पहन रहा हूं, ये सस्ता है, ये वही खरीदेगा ना, ये पड़ता नहीं है. प्रोग्रेसिव बहुत महंगा होता है, बढ़ता नहीं है, तो ये ऐसा वाला पहनेगा. और ये हैवी होता है और इसमें एडजस्टमेंट मुश्किल होता है. जैसे नीचे देखोगे ना बड़े बड़े लगेंगे, ऊपर देखोगे पतला पतला लगेगा. समझ में आया? अब आते हैं प्रोग्रेसिव लेंसेज में. जैसे नाउ आई हैव डेवलप्ड माइल्ड ग्रेड मायोपिया आल्सो. आई हैव माइल्ड. सो प्रोग्रेसिव लेंस वोंट हैव एनी सच demarcation. It will be plus here and slowly it will become minus and it is auto adjusted. So if you take my specs, मेरा नीचे वाला पोर्शन बड़ा दिखाएगा, मेरा ऊपर वाला पोर्शन छोटा दिखाता है. And these are very very costly, very costly. तो प्रोग्रेसिव हो गया आपका लेंस and this is very comfortable. Now what happens? See, if I didn't have this lens, every time to drive I will need one chashma, to read I'll need one chashma. Now it gets adjusted. But if you go to very elderly people who are habituated to wearing this, they can't adjust to this. But this is super comfortable. Now on this we add more sugar. What are the sugars we add? बच्चा ना हमारा बहुत मोबाइल देखता है. ओके मैम, तो इसको हम दे देंगे Blu-ray protection, another 2,000 rupees, and he's teenage now. He wants to look very fashionable also in the MUN and all events. तो इसको हम क्या करेंगे, photochromic दे देंगे. You know what is photochromic? So when you go in sunlight, it will look like Ray-Ban, एकदम glass हो जाएगा. See, he has photochromic right now. Hi, okay, he already has photochromic, so you'll have photochromic. Then further we will say anti-dust, एंटी स्क्रैच प्रूफ, राइट. जैसे मेरा ये चश्मा है ना, ये इतना महंगा है, मैं इसको ऐसे भी फेंक दूं तो कुछ नहीं होगा. हाँ, इट्स इन्वेस्टेड लाइक दैट because for me specs are more important. It has got Blu-ray, photochromic and anti-dust. Even if I put dust on it, nothing will happen. It's so light. But if the same specs I would have worn on glass, my neck would have become like that of a parrot. हाँ, उसका ग्लास है, ये फाइबर है, ये बहुत महंगा है. इसमें हाँ, unless and until you put a screwdriver and scratch it, but normal dust and all will not scratch it. ये प्रूफ कर दिया ना आपके सामने. तो ये महंगा ग्लास है. अब महंगा ग्लास खरीदना है तो अच्छे से पढ़ाई करना है ना. अब ससुराल वाले तो ये सब देंगे नहीं. अब उसको देता है, उसका जैसे ससुर जी सब स्पॉन्सर कर देगा दामाद जी को, अब सबको थोड़ी देगा ऐसे. ठीक है, समझ में आया? So you will suffer from, every one of you will suffer from presbyopia, no doubt about that. So if you were non-myopic, you will only have a plus power. But generally, as you age more, like when I first started, I was having only plus power. Slowly, minus power also comes, and then you get into something called progressive. और लास्ट एक और बीमारी ये होगा और बाद, ये है ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स वाला कैटरैक्ट.
एक डाउट.
हाँ बोलो. हाँ, इमेज फॉर्मेशन हमेशा रेटिना में ही हो रहा है. दिस इज ऑटो करेक्टिंग.
See, for example, you have plus power.
Yeah.
So when you read glasses,
I cannot see my palm lines also. Yeah. If I keep, that's because what is the distance? Least distance is 25 centimeters. Now you are normal vision, so आप 25 centimeters में देख पाते हो. So in grade 10 we say my near point has shifted. यही अगर 50 centimeters में रखोगे मैं देख लेता हूं. तो कितने दूर तक? Do I use a selfie stick? समझ रहे हो ना? तो हम मेरा नियर पॉइंट शिफ्ट हो गया है. My near point is no more at 25. It has gone away. ये आपका भी जाएगा. Not now. That is because the problem with your ciliary muscles. आते हैं दूसरे में कैटरैक्ट. कैटरैक्ट इज समथिंग, हाँ बोलो बेटो.
So, before distance,
नियरेस्ट डिस्टेंस ऑफ डिस्टिंक्ट विजन, सबसे पास कहां तक देख पाते हो. टेक अ क्रेडिट कार्ड एंड ट्राई टू रीड. पीछे लिखा रहता है ना कॉल कस्टमर सपोर्ट सेंटर, उसको आप उसके बाद जब आप पढ़ोगे ना यू विल फील लाइक प्यूकिंग, आपको नौसिया आ जाएगा. ले लो, पास लो और पास लो. टेक इट मोर नियरर, स्वयं टेक इट नियरर. यू विल हैव गिडीनेस इन योर हेड इफ यू ट्राई टू रीड. आपको सर चकराएगा. हाँ, आपका सर चकराएगा, आपको वॉमिटिंग जैसा आना शुरू हो जाएगा. इसलिए मत करो, नहीं तो मेरा घर गंदा करोगे ना. बट इन दैट केस यू हैव टू डू द पोछा, राइट. So nearest distance of distinct vision is 25 centimeters. Cataract is something that happens to elderly age. इसमें क्या होता है? There's a cloud formation which happens on your eye, and there is no other way but the cloud has to be cleaned. Earlier this used to be a very very complicated surgery. Now cataract is just daycare. On the day of cataract surgery, patients will be sitting like chickens. एक एक को लेगा and आपको there is no anesthesia. Lot of water flowing will happen and live the surgery will happen. There's a small instrument which will go in your eye. And have you seen cobweb cleaning? Just like cobweb, the web will be, that cloud will be cleaned. After cleaning, they insert something which is known as IOL, intraocular foldable lens. एक नया लेंस आपकी आंखों में घुसा देगा.
what is that?
That is made up artificially, and this is depends on your ability and your capability. This can be very costly. Actually, after putting this, and if you go for the highest package, you no more need specs at all. लेकिन काला चश्मा तो पहले 2 दिन के लिए, so that rays does not go in. At that time they will, नहाते भी नहीं है उस टाइम में, सर के ऊपर पानी भी जाने नहीं देगा. That's for first 2-3 days only. Okay, after you put an IOL, but what happens, these IOLs will be costing around 75,000-80,000, but by that time the person is also aged. So the person says, मेरे लिए इतना खर्चा क्यों कर रहे हो, घर के लिए रखो. So do people do a compromise? Like at that age, you won't have so much of drawing and all. So people go for a lower package in which they want distant vision clear. और nearby इतना साल चश्मा पहना है ना तो चलता है. Give me another specs. So you will come down to very less. You will come down to something like plus 0.5 reading power. And television you can actually open and see. But people have, क्या कहें, आदत से मजबूर. Like in my mother's case, since she has worn the specs for so many years, उनको अगर बोलो ना आप चश्मा खोल के देख सकते हो, नहीं नहीं मैं तो चश्मे से ही ठीक देखती हूँ. That's why you just can't take off the specs. इतने साल you have worn it, right? So it will be like some small bar. That is called cataract. But now cataracts are happening even at 53, 54 years also. पहले ये 70s में होता था जाके.
Lasers.
Laser is different. Laser is permanent cure. Astigmatism. You know astigmatism? अच्छा, have you seen somebody who talks non-aligned? बात करेगा आपके साथ, हाँ कैसे हो तुम? You will feel the person is looking at that side, but the person is actually looking at you. But you find that the person is looking. Astigmatism बोलते हैं उसको.
So,
Have you come across any person who has astigmatism? हाँ होते हैं. The person will be looking. One eye might have astigmatism. थोड़ा इस तरफ देखिए. No, no, that is astigmatism. उसमें लेजर से हम क्योर कर सकते हैं, but at a very tender age. Intraocular foldable lens, ये सब नॉलेज के लिए, तेरे सिलेबस में नहीं है बेटा, दिमाग मत खाओ उसमें. So all you should know is the human eye, rods and cones, then defects of vision, what are the diseases, myopia, hypermetropia, presbyopia and cataract. ये 10th में जाके फिर पढ़ोगे, but much more deeper करके, in physics only, not in biology. Yes.
People who are partially blind, they also wear glasses.
Partially blind is because they see, you are studying only a small portion of eye defects. There are many other form of eye defects. Like in broad daylight, I see everything proper. Say for example, whenever I drive and I see street lights, I don't see them as lights. I see as Jesus cross दिखता है, होता है ना vision. Night driving मना करके रखते हैं आपको. Then are you able to pick up colors very quickly? There are some tests in which you will be taken into a dark room and you will be given a small button in your hand and twinkling stars will come out. Every time you see a star, you should press the button, right? That is the test they will do. They will do it for 2 minutes or something. And the stars will be coming at first at a very slow rate. I've done that. Then it comes at a very fast rate. Then they will actually see how many clicks you made. So if you are normal by vision, you should click that many number of times, as many stars were shown to you. मेरा तो कुछ 76 का डिफरेंस आया, मतलब इतने स्टार्स आए भी नहीं थे, मैं उन्हें क्लिक कर रहा था. समझ में आ रहा है ना? आप उन्हें क्लिक करते जा रहे हो। एक और टॉपिक इसके बाद रहता है, दैट इज द 7 colors and all. So this is all related to human eye. Human eye has one more interesting thing which I think we are, सुन सकते हो एक 5 मिनट? इसको हम कहते हैं persistence of vision. ये मजा आएगा आपको पढ़ के। Persistence of vision. All these are in the old Lakshmi Singh if you want to. So what is persistence of vision? Say suppose I take a piece of cardboard, ऐसे है, ऐसे cardboard लेता हूँ. Say this is the same cardboard both sides. Okay, to make it more realistic, what I do is that I take this cardboard and I clone this. समझ रहे हो? ये cardboard का side A है, ये side B है. Okay, side A में मैं क्या करता हूँ? Side A में I am making something like this. ठीक है? और साइड बी में मैं बनाता हूं प्यारा सा नन्हा सा एक पंछी। ठीक है? अभी भी समझ में नहीं आया किसी को तो साइंस म्यूजियम नहीं जाते हो। ऑन वन साइड व्हाट डू आई हैव? केज, ऑन द अदर साइड आई हैव बर्ड। अब इसको रोटेट करो तुम्हारी आंखों के सामने, तुम क्या देखोगे? बर्ड इन दिस इनसाइड द केज। This is there in every science museum. If you go to Goa Science Museum and all, right outside in the garden, you'll find that there will be a parrot and there will be a handle given to you. Do it yourself. As you rotate the handle, the parrot will rotate and the cage will come. Parrot cage, parrot cage, parrot cage. And when it goes at a very high speed, then you are fooled. What do you see? You see parrot inside a cage. You've still not understood. Tare Zameen par dekha hai? Have you seen the time lapse book that he prepares? What is time lapse? The pictures are moved at a speed much more than your eye can recognize. So as a human being, if anything is shown to you at a speed of more than 1/16th of a second, means flip every picture after 1 second. No, much more faster. How much faster? 1/16th of a second you change the picture. Then the previous picture remains in persist in your human brain. You still don't lose that picture, and within that picture another picture has come. हमें चीज क्या दिखना शुरू हो जाता है? Continuous. That is the principle of cinema. Nowadays cinema is digital. Earlier days cinema used to have a film like this, a tape like this, roller wala. So have you seen the director say something called roll camera action? What is roll camera? As soon as the cinema camera starts, the movie film starts rolling. So suppose I'm picking up a phone from here, there will be some 500 600 shots only of this particular thing. Once here, once here, once here, once here, once here, once here. इतना बड़ा।
So how do they prepare?
नहीं वो कैमरा ऐसे ही, दैट इज मोशन कैमरा। सो यू सी द सर्टिफिकेशन देखते हो मूवी से पहले, UA एडल्ट यूनिवर्सल, उसमें पहले जमाने में पहले क्या अप टिल 2010 रील्स करके आता था, 18 रील्स 19 रील्स, सो मेनी रील्स मेक वन मूवी।
एक रील्स में
तुम्हारे डैडी के पास है स्पूल्स है पुराना वाला प्रोजेक्टर का, स्टार वॉर्स का, वो एक स्पूल का मूवी है। दैट स्पूल विल बी पुट, वंस दैट स्पूल इज पुट एंड दिस विल बी मूव्ड वेरी फास्ट एंड यू फील वहां पे सलमान खान डांस कर रहा है। एक्चुअली डांस नहीं है, एक ऐसा पोजीशन पे शॉट है, ऐसे 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 बहुत सारे शॉट्स है। ऑल दीज शॉट्स आर मूव्ड एट अ स्पीड मोर देन 1/16। सो दिस इज अ phenomenon of the human eye, the phenomenon due to which an image is retained in the brain. If the pictures are moved at a speed of more than 1/16, you retain the image. That is called persistence of vision, and that is explicitly used to fool you in a theater. Not these days. These days is digital. These days is digital. The movie is just a digital file. But if you go in old days, you'll have these. Don't you see the icon for a movie? ऐसा एक film ऐसा रहता है, वही film. That's why they say roll camera. To understand this, you should watch things in YouTube called the projector. How the projector used to work in old days.
So how do they create the images?
That image is shot. This is a raw film. This film, after shooting, will go to a lab. There it will be processed. And within this film, there will be the audio layer along with it. Here there will be audio.
Audio कैसा?
उस फिल्म में ही ऑडियो भी वॉइस रहेगा। हाँ, इसके लिए देखना पड़ता है। So this is called persistence of vision. Right. Our next class we will study about the 7 colors, little bit formation of rainbow, and then we go into the new course and see like आपके mirrors and all these are there, so that we and lenses and all we'll finish that. प्रकृत पुजारी ये तुम्हारे लिए important है। Thank you. Our next class is on Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday, what do? We continue science. Yeah. because Sunday you anyway have a test, so don't worry. Varunika, you need not worry about the test on Sunday. So what you do is that we will have a science class itself on our next classes. ठीक है, चलिए then